Well, that was an extremely interesting kerfuffle between D69 and Gangstars, or Kefefe, you could say either one. I think they interchanged there. What an interesting performance that you guys were lucky enough to witness if you're watching with us. If you're just joining us, the two best teams in Europe currently faced off against one another, and a dramatic 2-0 reverse sweep by Gangstars put them in the lead here in terms of the Summer Premiere.
And those are big, because a lot of times that will determine seeding. That one win is enough. D69 still, they're 1-1 right now and sitting pretty at 3-0. Gangstars are far out in front, but D69 now with that one out of the way have some easier matchups ahead of them.
And you know, it was a big day for Gangstars just because they won that, but it's really the big day for D69 and WASD. They've got the doubleheaders, and D69 and WASD right now have a very interesting path that they could take. If WASD wins, this opens everything up for them as in terms of getting to Valencia. And if D69 win, it keeps their hopes alive of not only qualifying, but staying at that second seed and having a chance at Gangstars.
Absolutely. Saw the map graphic come up there. We're going to head into the champion draft, see what they will elect to pick up here in game number 1. D69 with the first pick, as they are the higher seed.
Now it's Jaguar Falls, but one of the interesting things we brought up earlier was creatives and his ability to innovate with the Willow pick. We saw Willow brought out in ESL. Now this is a different thing. There's a different prize on the line, which is that $100,000, prize pool in Valencia that this leads them to qualify for. So I don't know if they'll be as willing to do that, but we have seen them bring out EVs, more of these off-meta picks more consistently. I wonder if we'll see that today.
Yeah, they have a interesting take on things, and I like it, right? If they have a problem, there, a lot of teams are like, all right, how do we solve this with, what's in the meta?
Right.
And, I like to think of it more as the bitey approach, is let's hit this, let's headbutt it straight in the face with what we know counters this out 100%. When they had a problem with a healer, they pick up an EV and just smash that EV into the healer as much as possible.
Yes.
They got a problem with a bunch of tanks and a bunch of healing on the point, let's pick up a Willow. Just force them to leave.
That's what she's supposed to do, right? And so I don't know if they'll go with that this time, but it does leave an opportunity for a certain type of blaster, an AoE damage dealer, to have an impact in this fight. Will it be Willow? Will it be Drogos? Those are really the only two options here. And Drox is still on the table, but they've taken Lex. So that kind of tells me that D69 aren't afraid, of a Willow-like play, but also that WSD could use it.
And they're happy with their draft. I mean, this is the fourth game in a row that D69 have drafted almost exactly this at exactly these times. Now with the chance to round things out, the Androxus for the first time today will be piloted by PERDO.
We'll see what WSD decide to last pick here. They already have a flanker to duel with Andro.
I think, of course, this Lex. So we've seen Mutustiina play Androxus. We've seen, I think, Creatives also very, very good Androxus player. But I don't know what they're going for here. Maybe they're just, they're more content with Lex. Played by Mutustiina. Mutustiina is just more confident in his Lex, and I agree with it. And
look at
I'm
that.
sure you're agreeing with this.
I am absolutely agreeing with this. Willow is here. Power to the Fae. I don't know if that's a thing they actually say, but she is from the Fae. That's her race in Paladins, and she also has an incredible amount of pressure she can apply to a point. This is our first time to really talk about her, look at her, examine her, say, what is her strength, Nick?
Her strength is she can establish a zone that you simply cannot stand in or you will die. And there's a lot of characters that
it's called the dead zone.
There's a dead zone. There's the seed. There's a lot of ways she can do it.
Yeah.
She can do it by taking away your healing. She can do it by taking away your life.
Yes.
She can do it by just blasting you in the face time and time again with that blast flower. I mean, it's 8 ammo. Got a potential for a lot more damage now because it ramps out much quicker.
Yes.
Especially with that legendary to be able to get to the full maximum potential in only 3 shots instead of 5.
And that's a big change that happened, really looking at how Willow is even being played right now. That's, I think, most contributing to it, right?
Absolutely.
The fact that now she has a weapon that can, if she's effective enough, it's skill-based, but if she's effective enough, have a competition against an Androxus who's coming in. Catch up and maybe even beat that DPS if she hits the right shots. Her weapon shots are a little more forgiving than Androxus, let's put it that way. So it helps on the point, big AoE champion, but also just being able to hit for those 800s if she's ramped it up really can turn the tide in a 1v1. The other thing that I think people don't mention that I think helps her a lot, the health bump. The 200 health, I think that gives her a lot more options here getting away.
Definitely. Staying tanky is very important because she's going to have some lethal champions on her case. The Bomb King and the Androxus, definitely the ones that are going to be hunting her down. One thing I think is going to be pretty interesting here is how can WST get this pick in a position to succeed? Because you know, like a lot of picks like Androxus or Bomb King, they don't need a lot of help. They don't need a ton of protection. Willow definitely does, but like a Kinessa, if you can provide that space, that control to her, she can really take over a team fight. Now, there's a little bit of high ground in those catwalks above the point, but you're pretty exposed there. Another thing that we actually saw creatives do with this Willow on Stone Keep was not go for the super high ground, but just that lower cathedral, that little curb on the sidewalk was enough angle for him to be able to shoot the ground and just consistently keep that buff as an uptime. Now, Jaguar Falls has a similar dynamic in that both of the rooms off to the side of the point have a slight elevation to them over the point. So just controlling one of those could give creatives the room that he needs to succeed with this Willow.
And in ESL, when we were watching this too, the community tournaments happen on Thursday. Take a look. EU and NA, they're both awesome ways. That's why we're even predicting this, so you can get yourself in on the meta before it even starts to kick through. One of the things that they did so well was they had Mutustiina and creatives on the same team. So PERDO, all these guys who are fighting, they had the question of saying, who do I go against? If I go and try and kill this Willow, she may get away, she may damage me enough, but then who's fighting Mutustiina? And Mutustiina on Cassie was playing absolutely phenomenal. This is really where this worked on Stone Keep. That was primarily where it will work. So in Jaguar Falls, with a little bit more of a tighter corridor space, less open air flying, but still available for it, it'll be interesting to see how she performs.
I'm looking at PERDO. We're going to get in the game here and see if the gods there hunt down this cute little pink fairy. It's Paladins. You never know what could happen. Bugzy is going to be piloting the Bomb King today with Accelerant as his legendary choice. Aerial Assault will be taken by Shipa's Ruckus, Darkstalker for PERDO's Androxus, Striping Cord for Gerrah's Maldamba, and a Mother's Grace for eLvenpath's Inara.
And on the side of WASD, it will be Unbelievable with Architectonic's Barrack Spunkki. He will be on Mortal Reach Ceres. Mutustiina running Death Hastens Lex. Been playing lights out with that one. Blast Flower Willow for creatives, and Kamyker be on Pluck Makoa.
He will take a Wrecker as well. 2 more Cauterizes, one for creatives, one for Mutustiina. And originally, I didn't like Willow's taking Cauterize because of Dead Zone, but
I like it.
You're right. She is so effective at just splashing her weapon shots onto everyone, and they come out so quickly that the character is just so damn good at anti-heal.
And when she gets into the air, you just see everyone. That Cauterize is so easily applied. Probably one of the better choices when you are thinking about it. Wrecker, not great because she doesn't have a very high base, but great slither there by Gerrah to avoid the initial Makoa hook.
Needs to rotate around, needs to be kept safe, and these healer rotations are really on point right now. Shipa finds the first blood and the second blood onto creatives and Spunkki all by himself. Mutustiina will find a kill, but can he escape with his life?
Not a bad thing necessarily to happen here. It's dying. Death by D69 happens very often, so you got to take that, go with the punches. Right now, though, Dead Zone doing a lot of work onto Shipa, and Mutustiina will clean that up.
Creatives getting aggressive here in the face of eLvenpath. Trying to blast through, but that's a lot of damage mitigation. Mutustiina with a triple kill here, looking to make it a quadra. Kamyker will take it away, but no worries there, as they are just content to put D69 back in their spawn.
Look at how quick that retake was, Nick. I mean, we're here talking about how, don't get upset. D69, they get the best of them here, and all of a sudden, D69, they're coming through.
I mean, you hit it in the draft, you're right. Everyone's fighting creatives. Who's fighting Mutustiina? He hasn't died yet, and he swung that team fight way back in WASD's favor.
Or vice versa. It's all vice versa. If you pick one, choose your poison, right? With these two on the same team, it's been such a great pickup for WASD, but right now, Shipa has a little bit too much exposure. The law is here. He wants to get him a little lower and use that. He's not going to have the opportunity, though. Has to get on the point because of 99%.
That was a little bit much, you're right. Had to get in there just for the overtime, but did it have to be him, the squishiest member of this WASD sports squad? D69 do come away with the payload. They get the narrow take back, but WASD looking good nonetheless.
When he sees someone stealing, like that was stealing his point, it's just this thing inside of him. He has to bring them to justice, so he had to slide in there. That's Lex, and just showing a superhuman natural justice knowledge here. Up in the air, though, here's Willow.
I think one really good thing that happened that Shipa did as well is the one thing that could have turned that fight was the law. Now, Shipa doesn't know if the law is up or not, but regardless of that fact, he popped his emitter shield while above 65% health just to cover his bases.
That's right. Look at this convergence, though. And this is such a... We don't talk about this because this is rarely seen, but Ceres and Willow with Seedling and convergence, probably the most... Oh, gets stunned out of the law. He is not CC immune. He can go back and do it again, but Gerrah shuts him down. That's a top-tier healer for you.
Cursed arm over the top. Doesn't get any kills. PERDO Does find Spunkki nonetheless. Trying to clean up this barrack. There's a lot in his way, a lot of turrets, but threading the needle. D69 find the kill on him as well. 2 for PERDO, 1 for bugzy, and the payload off to the races once again.
Trying to talk about great dream combinations, but WASD kind of falling quickly now as D69 have picked up their rhythm. Pushing this with 1 minute and 12 seconds on the clock. They're going to have to look for an answer with some damage and get one of D69's members out. Maybe bugzy find a kill onto him. He's on a 3 streak, and that King Bomb is ready and primed to go.
Despite trying to use it a couple times now, Mutustiina does still have the Law. Hexafire and Dread Serpent, though. D69 have a lot of punch to get this one through. WASD are going to need a near flawless defense.
Kamyker uses his movement skill and his hook and doesn't get anything for it. PERDO just shoots him in the face and uses 1 dash to complete his safe getaway. The payload is progressing forward. The Law could come through, but he actually already used it and nothing got from that trouble.
They escaped the Law. The Law did not win. D69 with another conversion here. Dredge Anchor, too little, too late. Just content with that headshot. I'll take the ultimate charge and head on home. Big offensive items coming through for D69. bugzy has 1,000 credits to spend. However he pleases, probably going to go with the Wrecker 2, and it will. WASD Sports do have enough, but just barely to get their level 2s online. Kamyker, not quite the Wrecker 2 mark. Mutustiina not really struggling for credits here. Creatives definitely by the skin of his teeth. Only 31 to spare. Will get the Cauterized 2 online, so not out of it yet. WASD are going to be about even in terms of items.
And that Wrecker 2, so important for Kamyker onto the time to kill for Ruckus, who with that shield is a lot different of a beast than without it. And he's going to be the main one fighting him in front. Sometimes you'll see the tanks have Cauterized, and that's what Unbelievable is bringing. He's going to use that for his weapon shots and just easily apply that to members of the team. Add that to Willow, and they are not going to be doing a lot of healing in the later stages, but they've got to get to the point first.
eLvenpath, you know, staved off a lot of aggression. Didn't any kills there, but that was the difference. He died there in the Gangstar matchup. Now 2 kills coming through already for WASD. This Fae Flight probably just going to expire here. Finds a nice shot onto Shipa and the Seedling as well. Great positioning and repositioning from Creatives.
I mean, that's incredible air control. He's just going right where he needs to go. Hits a shot as he's flying up into the room and actually helps to secure the kill onto 2 tanks there. So great heads-up play.
bugzy escapes with his life, and there's just not enough mobility to chase him down, and now he has a really good potential. And D69 just walked back onto the point. There comes the convergence. Can it get enough? Hexafire comes out as well. PERDO finds the first kill of this engagement.
spunkki actually dies after using his ultimate. That's not a good look. Dread Serpent solo ulted there with a stun onto Kamyker. Now bugzy and PERDO are ready to free roam. Shipa almost going down, but Creatives will fall first. PERDO comes to the rescue, and D69 grab the objective yet again.
Repulsor Field buys that extra shot in the life of one member of D69, and that's the difference, man. When bugzy escapes, when these guys escape with 200 HP and come back to haunt you when no one's looking, so much damage comes through. 36% on his King Bomb as well. Grumpy Bomb up to zone. Still looking strong, our D69.
And I still love the way that Creatives is performing on this Willow. I think it's having an impact. I think that what they've stopped doing is being able to really contest on the point. The frontline pressure is just not enough here. Or maybe the way they're starting out these fights, just giving D69 too much of an early advantage. But the defense here could be strong. This is where they've got to hold to keep themselves in this game.
Flutter just to get aggressive here. PERDO backs up. Law comes out again. Doesn't find the mark. Not even the one target that we know Mutustiina for finding. He's not very greedy with his laws, but still just struggling to get one to land.
Doesn't want to step onto the ground here. Gerrah's probably looking for a stun, but this is really good ultimate time by Willow. The Earthen Guard can come through, mitigate 50% of that damage, but eLvenpath escapes yet again. That's been the story of this.
Coming through now. Fae Flight is used up onto the high ground. No kills falling through just yet. Flutter over to the right side here. 1 minute and 76 seconds. 1 minute 15 seconds, excuse me, left. 3-0. D69, they're looking for the push here.
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to find it? Couple of ultimates online. Dome Shield is ready. That's the big defensive cooldown. WASD need to hold with. They have a lot of members low already.
Hexafire is here and primed. Oh, what a stun! Grumpy Bomb just very, very angry approach to this fight. Another Dread Serpent by Kamyker. Feels like he's just got a highlight reel of dying in that ultimate. Gerrah not liking the turtle today, not liking any member of WASD as D69 continue this onslaught.
The big defining moment here for D69 is they're just getting value out of their ultimates every time, and the slow approach from PERDO is enough. He finds the kill, and just, I mean, has any ultimate landed yet for WASD Sports? No laws. Fae Flight's, that's not going to win a fight for you. Failing to get the Dome Shield off once, and then it's just not good enough the second time around, WASD need to get more from their ults as we looked into game number 2.
And I honestly think that maybe it's just the map, maybe it's just the rest of the draft that didn't work well. I still like the way that Creatives was able to perform here. Him and Mutustiina, definitely the stars of the show for me. 9-5, 11-5, decent stats. Like, honestly, not the worst here. Died the least amount for being the damage carries. That's okay in a game like this.
And that's we were just talking about, the problem wasn't the gameplay, but the ults. Every single time, one Dread Serpent is resulting in 2 kills, and then they've got Hexafire, they've got a Cursed Arm, they've got everything they need, and they're finding 1 to 2 kills off of everything. Doesn't matter if the play in between is solid. D69 are just sweeping these team fights once the ultimates come into play.
The other thing that I think is a little weird, and not weird, but I think just shows you how I think the initial point fight went. I saw the Creatives and Mutustiina intending to flank, just got caught on the flanks. They weren't able to impact the point as much. I think if a few more seedlings, a few more dead zones, a little bit more pressure onto D69 while they're trying to capture would have helped their team overall in kind of controlling the pace of this game. It just got a little bit away from them.
Yep. It's going to be Serpent Beach for game number 2. I don't know if we'll see a whole lot switched up in terms of the draft. We're seeing differences from WASD now, significant differences.
Yes. Going
to the Lex when Andrew's still available, going to the Willow when Drogos is still available, going for, I think, just a more reserved playstyle. Lex doesn't get quite as aggressive as Androxus, and frankly, Mutustiina's been having better performances on his Lex than his Andro as a result, just relying on pure aim, not really having to make good decisions, not having. He's a newer guy to the scene, and Androxus requires a lot of game sense, a lot of positioning, a lot of awareness of cooldowns, and how you're going to get in and out of fights, whereas Lex is, I'm going to sit with my team, be safe, and just aim.
Well, you know, if you say Mutustiina's name 3 times, he'll show up and flick shot you in the head. He's known.
Into the Shadow Realm.
For headshots. He's known for headshots. This guy's made some crazy plays, so don't do it. I'm serious. It's real. It's a real thing. Don't do it. It's time for WASD,
I've said it twice, but I've never
said it 3 times in a row. You know. But I've heard of some people who have, and now they don't work here anymore, and I don't know where they went.
And now where are they?
Yeah, their car's still in the parking lot, but I don't know where they went. Makoa taken by D69. Talking about Willow, I just want to bring it back because it's the most interesting thing for me, is that it did work on Stone Keep, and we haven't seen it really showcased on any other map to be super, super successful. Part of Stone Keep is you have those upper ledges, you have a lot of space and vertical space and just distance between the point fight where you can see it and still impact it. Do you think Serpent Beach is a place where she might
definitely
be able to impact?
100%. Stone Keep, it's probably more difficult because when it was picked against them before, D69 just controlled that high ground spot. But there's not enough characters on their roster to control all of the high ground on Serpent Beach. There were so many options for Willow to shoot down onto his own, and she's one of the newer characters and does have that 3D mobility, so if they want it, they could take it, but they've already got the Bomb King, so I don't see them going for it. Probably going to round out with Young Damba.
Yep, Young Damba going through. He's the healer. They need one of those. D69 now, they have the opportunity to counterpick, but it'll most likely be a Drogos if they feel they need that pressure. If they feel that there's not enough Lex going to be able to do, or Bomb King, they could take something like a Sniper or a more reserved champion like a Victor, but they are content to have their form of AoE pressure in Drogos. Pretty solid lineup for them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Both teams definitely, I think, got what they wanted. However, that's pretty dangerous when it's D69. I mean, these are their champions coming out. The one you can make a case for is Shipa and Barrick, but the rest of them are definitely 110% cool with what they got in the draft. Mother's Grace, the selection for Unbelievables, and Nara Ripen Gourd for Spunkki's Maldamba. Mutustiina on his Lex with Death Hastens. Creatives will take the Bomb King with Accelerate, and Kamyker takes Aerial Assault for his Ruckus.
Bugzy, Drogos. We'll see what legendary he picks up in a moment. Architectonics, Barrick for Shipa, PERDO, Dark Stalker Androxus, Mortal Reach Ceres for gerrah, and Half Shell for Makoa.
So the interesting thing here is, we say, you know, D69 got everything they wanted, but it also kind of feels that way for WASD.
Combustible.
It just happens to be what they wanted was different. And like you mentioned, Combustible and Morale Boost coming out for a Bugzy, so not looking to get super aggressive, I would imagine. Just kind of stay safe and land a bunch of these fire spit and then punch somebody in the face.
Let's look at Bugzy's ultimate charge. If things go well with the Dragon earlier on, you can see he's just skipping ahead of everyone. 30% damage, 40% ultimate charge right now. That's what Morale Boost and Combustible can do. Drogos already charged his ultimate faster than almost anyone else in the realm. Combustible just adds to that fact.
2 seconds Creatives, though, gets in his face. This could be rough here. Will land the fire spit, putting 1,300 back in favor of the Bomb King. Salvo primed and ready. This could be big on the point. Not going to land a whole lot of damage. One fire spit could be all he needs. And this is the playstyle difference, though. bugzy's not getting aggressive. He is chilling like a villain up on the high ground with gerrah.
And that's where you want to be with Drogos. You want to sit in the back, have no one pressure you, and just fire your combustible fire spits and shoot rockets and salvos down to helpless, unwitting targets. That's the dream situation. And because they've taken Androxus away from WASD, they've got no real vertical challenge except for the Bomb King and maybe the Ruckus.
PERDO's keeping up an all charge without morale boost. That is the impact this guy is having on this character. That's why he's so scary. He has that positional awareness. He has the game sense and knowledge of cooldowns, when to go in, when to get out on Androxus. In fact, he may yet be. Oh no, he didn't be in the race to the first ultimate. bugzy is going to be the victor there.
No victor on the side here as well in terms of the champion, but victor will be announced if D69 can grab the win in this one. Serpent Beach over WASD. But it doesn't seem like anyone's able to match what bugzy's been able to do yet in terms of ultimate charge. 100% for him. Saris, the closest one. gerrah keeping up to date with his damage dealer.
There's plenty enough to carry a team fight through, and they've got a lot to accent it. Accursed Arm is a great follow-up to Convergence. Dragon Punch, not really the best. That can be popped at any time. It's a very versatile ultimate. It doesn't require a ton of thought. You just need to have a good angle in and out for it. But definitely a salvo. Drogos has a base kit that is gorgeous and can easily follow up and be enough to follow up Convergence.
Shadow Realm there for Androxus as
he said Mutustiina's name.
He said Mutustiina's name 3 times. Apparently that's what it is. Now WASD though, they just don't have anyone else who's able to do it because, oh no, now everyone's falling. I think it's true, Nick. That's 3 kills now. Creatives is finding 2. Mutustiina gets the last one. They said his name 3 times, went to the Shadow Realm and all died. It's true.
I tried to warn him, man. I tried to warn him. D69, they didn't listen.
It's true. Oh God, we got to be careful how we treat this in broadcast as well. Let's leave like 20 seconds.
How many times have we said?
I don't know, but I'm getting
name.
You know who? He who must not be named. And 4 streak for him as he goes through using the mastery skin body now, the obsidian, and going in with the normal guns, just trying to bring justice with the Massacres as well. Mutustiina sliding back in. That's 1 time. We'll shoot him maybe twice. PERDO looking for another opportunity to just get up onto the vertical ground and pressure them out.
18 seconds remaining here. 5 ultimates left alive for D69 and 4 ultimates for WASD. 10 online. Here comes the convergence of the seismic crash, however. Accursed Arm still online, comes through. Not yet. 3 kills for WASD. 4 kills for WASD in a very convincing hold.
Mutustiina. Paladins. I didn't say it.
You scared me there.
I know.
Thought I was going to have to solo cast this.
Yeah, I know.
Evan? He's gone, folks. It's just me now, or in between. The first round here. Level 2 Cauterize comes online. Evan? You give him back, Mutu.
Ah! Oh my God. Oh my God, it's real. Don't try this at home, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't say his name 3 times. It's Mutustiina. He'll show up and flick shot you in the head and team wipe you and also spray afterwards. He's on an 8 streak and he's got the law. He's got the obsidian mastery skin and a unicorn. This man is just defying all types of logic here, but he's getting 2 headshots and a great Dread Serpent. Will it happen? No, nothing. He'll get pulled into the Shadow Realm himself.
gerrah with a beautiful convergence to help that one. One more bomb from a distance. No, bugzy is going to bail out PERDO, escaping with his life. eLvenpath, the only member of D69 to fall. 27%, though, does get captured for WASD, but plenty of room to close that gap. D69 now in the lead.
30% now as the payload is not yet spawned. They've got to capture this objective, and they're very close to it, about halfway through. Combustible Drogos with those fire spits just going to display so much of what WSD are going to try to do to get back here and maybe put them at too much of a health deficit to really impact this fight. Lots of damage coming through. This fire spit could change everything, and it will put creatives under pressure.
Next on to just the 1 target. The Mutustiina almost combat slides into danger. Nice, actually a rare miss on the fire spit. I'm just so used to saying nice fire spit after bugzy lets it go. PERDO does find a double kill, nonetheless, make it a triple kill. Mutustiina flick shots too, but PERDO with the penta kill!
Holy smokes, holy Toledo. PERDO coming through, and he's the one that might show up and flick shot you in the head if you're not careful with the wrecked gun. Definitely make sure WASD feel wrecked after that fight. 5 kills, all go the way to the flicker.
2 minutes and 18 now to get this one going. PERDO feeling real good about himself after that fight. Plenty of ultimates here for D69. They've almost got the accursed arm, so 2-2 for WASD. Trying to get that King Bomb online. A lot could go a lot of ways at this stage of the game. WASD definitely not out of the running. They could still turn it around. Spunkki with a beautiful long-range stun. But PERDO not going to pay with his life. Tries to throw the Ruckus off the map, but we've seen that story before.
Trying to throw a Ruckus off the map with aerial assault. I mean, it just doesn't make much sense. Trying to run away from a bounce house buck as well. It's kind of one of those things that just doesn't usually work out in your favor. But bugzy, he's trying to make sure everything happens. Big fire spit, double un for the Dragon. bugzy, 8 streak, and keeping it going.
Now another shot lands on the creatives, another one and a fire spit just to come out. Can't forget about the Bomb King though, he's still alive. PERDO puts him to rest. Salvo comes out on the high ground. Dragon Punch if they need it, but the payload isn't quite close enough yet for D69's liking. They've got a lot of members pinned down here from WASD. There comes the big CC chain, but they're only gonna get 1 off of it.
Another fire spit here. Oh, look at the convergence. Dragon Punch primed, ready to charge, and hits his prey. The Dragon will be stunned in the air, though, and immediately thrust right up. Salvo, maybe midair fire spit. Yes, sir. That'll be D69 taking the push with some fantastic plays from PERDO and bugzy along the way.
Shout outs to Gerrah for keeping bugzy alive through that. Unfortunate. Lined up there with the Grumpy Bomb fuse, wasn't able to get out of the range in time. Spunkki comes through with the deft hands, the Chronos too. With WASD's last chance, they have to take this team fight. D69 spent a decent amount to get that, but still have the accursed arm, and both tank ultimates, Ancient Rage and Dome Shield, should be coming up at some point, unless this fight can be taken very cleanly from WASD.
eLvenpath opting into the resilience along with bugzy. It's a good point to bring up because, you know, creatives, he really needs to get things going. He's one that I think WASD mount their success off of, and Mutustiina as well doesn't bring the CC, but creatives, they know he's going to be important in this next fight. The seismic crash, they don't know how charged up it is. Not very ready for this fight, but all of a sudden the King Bomb looking to find some damage. Creatives will get gerrah and no healer.
Just 1 for 1. Drogo's back up into the sky. bugzy laying down the fire. PERDO, great response though. I like the just the snap decision to make sure creatives has to pay for that very aggressive King Bomb.
Earthing Guard trying to use that to survive as much as possible, but he's going to get hooked out. eLvenpath trying to bring him back half shell enough to maybe dissuade some of the damage, but still gets things going in his favor and leaves the prey out for PERDO. Just like a boy who hasn't had lunch, maybe sit home early.
Ooh, hello.
He's gonna go ahead and pick up his meal right there. It's named Creatives, double kill. Named Kamyker as well. Is gerrah gonna get 3 meals for his trouble here? No, Shipa will find one, and this could be the ending.
So tanky, but just not enough. Unbelievable, all by himself. D69 with the clean wiperino. They're gonna take this one pretty convincingly, get their 2nd win on the board, so now sitting at 2-1. On their run here through the Premier Qualifiers.
And that's what they needed. Today was about D69, it's about WASD, and fortunately, it's kind of swung here. There's 3 teams, really, the storylines started to develop. Gangstars, they take the first win. D69 must win here. They get the win, so they keep themselves in contention. They live to fight another day, maybe tie break, and you know, have something happen at the end when they face Gangstars yet again towards the finals rounds of this weekend. But the most important thing now, WASD taking this loss, they've got to turn it right back around and beat Flashpoint to really stay in contention for that 2nd spot.
Definitely. You know, the bottom 2 seeds, if they want to have a chance, they need to beat, you know, the 3rd or 4th seed, depending on who you're looking at. Every single matchup, they need to beat them in both meetings if they want to have a chance at making DreamHack, because D69 and Gangstars, they've beaten both seeds very convincingly at this point. The chances that they drop a game to one of the lower seeds is low, but it could happen. If that does happen, though, you need to put yourself in a spot to still succeed. You need to have cleaned up every other game that you're supposed to.
Well, we'll see what happens right after the break. We've got a great matchup coming forward. WSD has some more action to be able to see if they can get the win and move forward next weekend with some more chances at qualifying in 2nd. And Flashpoint, they're coming up. We haven't seen them today. They're going to be facing off in the last set of this summer premiere for Europe. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you right after the break.